So this is going to be part 9 of my childhood storytime series, and part 9 is going to be about my first experience getting my heart broken, getting my entire life like ripped out of my hands. So when I was 8 years old, honestly, life felt great because at this time we were still living in New Hampshire, and at this time everything was still good. We never felt that we were poor. Okay, we never felt that we were poor. We never lived in the projects when I grew up in New Hampshire. We always lived in apartment complexes that had pools. Sometimes it was like gated. But back in the day, things were just probably cheap. And at the time, we had connections. Like my dad knew a lot of people and things just kind of worked out. So it felt good. Because again, my dad had connections. He was the type of person to talk. He was a great worker. People never forgot my father because, he was always loyal. He always showed up for the job. He was always there, always a hard worker, always did a good job, always poured his energy and his heart into things. You could see it in his work. So again, I did develop that too from my dad. I saw that when you pour your heart into something, like beauty does come out of it, and good things do happen when you show up and when you show up and just allow yourself to be out there, even when the world could be stacked up against you. I still seen that he was still making things happen. Okay. But anyways, so in New Hampshire at this time, when I was like 8, I was finally able to start having like a deeper connection with a friend. So again, my parents were very religious, and because my father being very strict and religious, I kind of knew that I kind of had to say things a certain way and to kind of put things to the forefront to make sure that he would get what I'm saying. Long story short, the first time I was able to actually have a friend that I was able to be close with, I had to tell my dad, like, hey, she goes to church, her mom's into church and all that. When my dad heard that, he started kind of opening up and kind of warming to the thought, like, okay, you gotta have a friend that's, that, okay, good. So it kind of started out with me going to church with my friend, and I liked it. I liked being able to finally get out of my house and not always feel as though I was trapped. I finally felt like I could be free. And my friend's mom was always so kind, so friendly, so loving, always like, hey, do you need this? Do you need this? I always felt at home. I felt like I was a daughter there. I felt like everything was good. And it felt so good. Okay, I was finally able to have a friend that we could laugh with, we could have good times. She also had her own room, and we had a lot of similar things, and we were able to have so much fun. And the other thing was, we lived in an apartment complex, and she lived in the other apartment complex across the lake, but it wasn't too far of a walk. And we got to a point where my dad actually saw that I was very responsible, because we'll talk about that later on. Again, I had to grow up fast, and I started showing that I was very responsible young. I started proving that I was responsible young. So yeah, I finally was able to go to a sleepover. This is going to be my first sleepover, and I was so freaking excited. It's my best friend's sleepover. I get to sleep over her house. I was so fucking excited. You don't even know, it gives me goosebumps to this day. I was so excited, man. I was so excited to have this sleepover, okay? So the sleepover was amazing. It was great. There was all the kids. We had the piñata, everything going. And I got to stay with the birthday girl. She was able to have one person sleep over her house. And of course, it was me, her best friend. I got to sleep over her house, and I was so fucking excited because, again, it was a fun day. And she was also the type of person that had a lot of friends because she was so sweet. You would just gravitate towards her aura. And she was also a Cancer. She always had this, just pure, beautiful, angelic energy, beautiful blue eyes, blonde hair. She just always felt so angelic and so sweet. You can feel that to her. You can just feel that energy, right? But anyways, so long story short, I had a great sleepover, okay? And all of a sudden, so we're having a sleepover. We finally, we stay up late. I think it's 12 o'clock, and it's a Saturday too. So it's cool. I'm hey, we stay up late and then, sleep in and then have more fun. I don't have to go home yet, because my parents never said anything about that. All they said was, hey, have fun, and everything felt normal. Okay, so I go on. I'm having the time of my life, living in the moment for the first time. like getting to run outside with the other kids, all different type of kids, okay? And I loved it. I fucking loved it because that's what felt good. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I love. I love being around people. I love kids. I love it. Okay? So, boom. It's like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and I'm at my friend's house, and all of a sudden, like, I'm being woken up. Lights are on. I'm being woken up. And again, like, I'm being woken up by a voice. Again, I knew her mom, but again, like, you know, it's weird being at a place that you never slept at, and then you're hearing a voice, and I'm, like, being woken up, and I'm, like, it's still pitch black outside vibes. So I'm, like, why am I being woken up at 3? I'm, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And again, that anxiety, I'm already starting to feel it in my chest, like, that feeling of, like, what? Something's wrong. Like, that something's off. Like, I knew that in that moment. 555. I knew something was off. I felt it. And she was like, hey, your mom is at the door. Or she was like, hey, your mom is at the door. And I'm like, my mom is at the door? I'm like, but it's dark out. What do you mean my mom's at the door? And she's like, yeah, you got to get all your stuff. Your mom is here to pick you up because you're leaving. And I'm like, what do you mean my mom is here to pick me up because I'm leaving? Right? So, I don't know. Again, like, that anxiety energy of, like, what's going on? Like, why am I leaving? What happened? What's going on, you know? And, you know, my friend wakes up, and then she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I gotta leave. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. So I'm running to the door, and I'm, like, so sad. I'm, like, distraught. I'm, like, they're, like, trying to give me, like, the birthday favors and give me, like, the goodie bags and, like, the food and stuff. And then I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Where are we going? She's like, you gotta get all your stuff together. We're moving. I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean we're moving? She's like, yeah, you got to get all your stuff that you have, like, pack up now. We decided that we're moving to Florida. And I'm like, in that fucking moment, yeah, my life changed forever in that moment, okay? Getting ripped away in that moment, having to wake up and say goodbye to my best friend that I've had, you know, since, like, kindergarten. Finally able to, you know, connect with her and, like, sleep over. Ripped away in that moment. Like, ripped away. The last time I got to see her and say, it was literally in that moment. Okay, I remember I'm like, what is our address? We're like, my mom's like, we don't have an address. We don't know. I'm like, how am I going to talk? Because, again, we didn't have cell phones and shit back then. It was always house phones. Okay? So I was, like, writing down her, and I'm like, her mom was writing down her phone number. I'm like, can you guys write your address so that I could, like, write, so that we can still write letters? And again, this is all at fucking 3:30 in the morning, after just getting woken up, after having the best time of my motherfucking life. Okay? And then my mom is like, yeah, it's time to go. And when I told you I got downstairs, so yeah, whatever, yeah, long story short, I'll do a part 2 because, yeah, there's more. So, like this video and comment part 10 for the next part.